Warm greetings of the day to all my enthusiastic learners. I hope my learners are learning with zeal. Today, our topic is adverbs and kinds of adverbs. First of all, let us try to understand what is an adverb. One of the common and expected reply is an adverb is a word which is used to modify a verb. For example, she runs slowly. Here, the word slowly tells us more about the action runs. So, slowly is the adverb modifying the verb runs. So that's the complete definition of an adverb. Well, it is correct to some extent, but not complete. So let us complete it right now. An adverb is a word which is used to modify not only a verb but also another adverb. For example, she runs extremely slowly. Here there are two adverbs in this sentence. First of all, how she runs slowly, and how slowly she runs extremely. So it tells the intensity of slowness. So here is an example of an adverb modifying another adverb. Moving on to the third aspect. An adverb is a word which is used to modify an adjective as well. For example, she is an extremely slow runner. Here, the adjective slow tells us more about the runner and how slow she is. Eh, She is extremely slow here. So, here is an example of an adverb modifying an adjective. Now we are having the complete definition of an adverb. An adverb is a word which is used to modify not only a verb but also another adverb or an adjective as well. Now, let us see some pictures to understand the concept of adverbs further. Here he reads carefully. She walks slowly, and so on. So carefully, slowly, quietly, beautifully are some of the examples of adverbs. Here there are more. She's shouting loudly. I'm holding the bird gently. She's lying on the sofa lazily, so on and so forth. Now it's time to see into kinds of adverbs. Starting with number one, adverb of time. It tells us when an action occurs. Second, adverb of place. It tells us where an action occurs. Adverb of manner, which tells us how an action occurs, in what way. Number four, adverb of degree, which tells us to what degree or what is the intensity of an action occurring. Number five, adverb of frequency, which tells us how often an action occurs. Interrogative adverbs are the next, which are used to ask questions. Last but not the least, relative adverbs, which are used to join ideas or clauses. Now let's look into them one by one, starting with adverbs of time. These adverbs tells us about when, the time of an action. For example, here is the list of some of the adverbs of time: after, already, finally, later, soon, yet, during, etc. Now, some of the adverbs used in sentences. The workers will begin their work soon. Here, the adverb soon tells us the time when the workers will begin their work. He will go to school tomorrow. Again, the word tomorrow tells us when he will go to school. I rise early in the morning. So, when I rise, early in the morning. So, the words in red, soon, tomorrow, early, are some of the adverbs of time. Adverbs of place, which tells us about where an action happens or where something is. Here is a list of some of the adverbs of place, starting with of, backwards, indoors, everywhere, nowhere, etc. Now, some examples in sentences. The girls are playing upstairs. Where the girls are playing? Upstairs. I searched everywhere for my pen. Where I searched? Everywhere. Ramesh will meet me here. So, where is the place of meeting? Here. So, these are the place adverbs. Number three, adverbs of manner. These adverbs tells us how an action happens or is done, in what way. So again, the sum of adverbs of manners in the box here: cheerfully, eagerly, secretly, badly, and so on. And some sentences for your reference. The boy is eating hungrily. How he's eating? Hungrily. She sings beautifully. How she's singing? Beautifully. And we should cross the road carefully. So again, the words like hungrily, beautifully, carefully, which tells us in what way the action is being done, are adverbs of manner. Next, adverbs of degree, which tells us to what degree an action occurs. What is the intensity of the action being performed? Again, we are having the list of some of the adverbs of degree: quiet, fairly, almost, completely, and so on. And again, some examples in the form of sentence. The film is quite interesting. So, how interesting is the film? Quite. I almost finished my homework. So, what is the status of completion of work? Almost finished. And finally, I totally enjoyed the ride. So, totally is the adverb of degree here. Next, adverbs of frequency. These adverbs tells us how often we do things or how often an action happens. Again, list off some of the adverbs of frequency: always, sometimes, often, frequently, hardly ever, never, etc. Now, here I am having a graph which will help you to use these adverbs aptly. For example, if there is 100% frequency of an action happening, use the adverb always. And if it is just 70%, go for the word often. And if there is no chance of the action happening, it's the word never. I never listen to rock music. So these are adverbs of frequency. Moving on to the interrogative adverb. These adverbs are used to ask questions about time, place, number, reason, manner, quantity. For example, why, how, where, when. They are used to introduce questions. See, for example, how did you break your leg? Here, we are trying to know in what way the leg was broken. How often do you run? What is the frequency of your running? When does your plane leave? Here we would like to know about what is the time of departure. So, in other words, we can say that these questions provide answers in the form of the adverbs which we learned in the prior slides. For example, adverb of time it can be adverb of place, and so on. Last but not the least, relative adverbs. These adverbs are used to join clauses or sentences. For example, where, when, why, how, wherever, whatever, so on. See, for example, alongside, they slept where we placed our tents. So here, the adverb where brings out the relation or joins the two parts of the sentence. They slept and we placed our tents. In the second sentence, I remember the day when I got my first job. Again, the adverb when join the first part, I remember the day, with the second part, I got my first job. In the same way, tell me why you were late home. The same function is being done by the adverb why here. So, this was the presentation on adverbs and kinds of adverbs. Please go through it once again thoroughly. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day. This is Liju Susan Thomas, TGT English from TIS, signing off.